What is up, my viewers? Spang here, bringing you another World of Tanks gameplay commentary. This time it is another viewer-submitted replay, and it is a standard battle on Himmelsdorf. One of the first maps ever available in this game when it first came out way back in the day. And it is a KV-5 match, a tier 8 match overall. Both teams being rather even, the same number of the same tiered tanks for the most part. Our buddy here, Andrew... What was his name? Andrew Kai. Andrew Kai. Or however you say it properly. I am sorry if I am mispronouncing it. But his team does have an extra tier 7 and a powerful tier 7. It is the T25AT. That tank certainly can bring the hurt. Now, the KV-5 is essentially the mouse of the tier 8, for those of you unaware. And if you don't know what a mouse is, it's a very heavily armored tier 10 tank that has tons of health. Hence, the KV-5 is the mouse of the tier 8. Anyway, yeah, so teams fairly even. I would say that the enemy team does have a slight advantage in the lower tiers with those KV-1Ss. Those pack quite the punch if they have the 122. But besides that, I mean, the team's definitely a fair fight. A Black Prince coming into view here. I have to say, not a huge fan of the Black Prince just looking at its characteristics, its specifications. It basically looks to be the same armored as the previous tank before it, the Churchill 7, which makes me kind of cringe and say it has the same top speed and it has the same armor as the tier 6 tank before it, and that tier 6 tank did okay. I own one. That tier 6 tank does okay in its own tier. So the Church, I can't say I'm looking forward to the Black Prince. The enemy team sending a few tanks to the hill, several along that Death Alley, the 7-8 line. I typically refer to that as Death Alley. No one going in the open field, a few tanks looking into the center park, but no one traversing the distance, which is the wise option. Very rarely do you want to go in that center and have yourself exposed. Although, you would be surprised how many times the teams will just leave it completely unwatched and open. You can tell looking at the mini-map right here that Andrew Kai's team is doing just that. No one is really having any sort of visual on the center. Andrew bouncing that shot like no one's business. The IS is certainly going to have trouble getting through his frontal armor. I mean, I have trouble getting through the KV-5's frontal armor on occasion with a tier 10 gun, depending on how I hit it. So an IS with only 175 penetration certainly is not going to have an easy time. Now the enemy team certainly overwhelming the hill, claiming the hill for their own. Someone pinging the hill. Now, for whatever reason in the replays, the pings are not showing up on the minimap. I can only hope that is fixed in 7.3, but this is still a 7.2 replay, so obviously it is an issue with the 7.2 replays. I don't know why, but it simply does not work. Now the enemy team headed by only one tank despite their overwhelming push on the hill. Andrew's team taking Death Valley, well, the Death Alley. It's not a valley, it's an alley. But certainly looking like they're about to get flanked on that front. Enemy artillery is spotted, but on Himmelsdorf, artillery really isn't that much of a factor. Lighting that IS on fire, not getting the kill though. So our friend here, Andrew, has yet to land a single kill, still at full health, doing some damage, holding the 2-3 line. That Hummel really limited in his effectiveness in his current location. Basically not really going to be much of a factor. The enemy team losing their advantage, and a KV-4 apparently AFK. Basically Andrew K's team at a significant disadvantage, being down by a tier 8 player, a top tier tank. So it certainly is going to present a challenge. They're about to lose it right here. They are really not down by one tank, they're about down by two, because that player is simply AFK. Please, 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 if you join a match, be ready to play it. I understand things come up, but do not join a match and then go AFK. That is, especially if you're going to be a top tier tank, that's just being kind of a jerk. That Ariel 44 wisely backing up, as Andrew certainly has a strong advantage on him. And Andrew here, his team down by 5 tanks. I say 5 because of that useless... No, wait, the KV-4 is dead. So only down by 4 tanks. Only. Yeah, right. These tank destroyers doing a good job watching his... basically his backside, you know, making sure his tank doesn't get flanked. And that T-25 possibly going after that French tank destroyer here. At least he's watching the flank. Andrew's got to do something here. He is the tier 8 tank. The T-34 is still alive, yes, but really Andrew is going to be the single hope for his team at this point. The KV-1S has a very powerful gun, slow rate of fire if it has its upgraded gun. I'm speaking in ifs here. I cannot tell from this view if that KV-1S has the 122, but certainly not a good situation. Andrew's team managing to pick up the slack, now down by only 1 tank and actually starting to capture the enemy point. Enemy artillery is going to have to do something to stop that, and it looks like the heavy tank in that region is just plain going after artillery. Andrew, not sure exactly what he's doing. He might be typing at this point. He really should be taking some sort of aggressive action, going after that IS, trying to flank that tank destroyer. It looks like he's gone AFK for whatever reason. I don't know why. He has yet to land a kill. There we go. It seems he's back in the action here. Do something. Yes, thank you. A tank coming down the railroad tracks. It looks like one of the enemy tanks is returning to base. A wise decision by the enemy. They still have a 2-tank lead, but very quickly losing that. What is the penetration on this vehicle? Its penetration is 167 standard, and I know it has 300 damage. So it is essentially using the same gun that the KV-2 has if you are not using the dirt. This AC Meal looking to get himself killed. Andrew's got to angle his armor a bit better, but it won't matter much if he aims for that little R2D2 turret. And Andrew getting shot in his rear end by what? A Tiger. Okay, so the Tiger is capable of getting through if he has the upgraded gun. If not, well, then that Mr. Tiger is kind of screwed. But the AC Meal completely missing his shot, and the Tiger in a very poor position to handle this. He does have the upgraded turret, so I would assume he has the long 88 long gun, which does have 203 penetration. So this AC Meal going to have a rough time getting through Mr. KV-5, even if he can, as he just did there, shooting that little machine gun turret. He's not going to be able to kill him. Obviously, the KV-5 still has way too much health. This match is, in my opinion, thoroughly sealed in terms of being given to Andrew's team. That is what I'm trying to say. Simply because that Tiger is almost dead. I'm not sure what that tank is on the enemy base, but he has 3 heavy tanks going from 2 tier 8, a tier 7, and a tier 6. One of the tier 7s is a Tiger P, which can present a problem if Andrew does not know how to attack it. I don't know how many games he has played or how much experience he has, but a Tiger P is fully capable of handling a KV-5. I know because I have done it in my Tiger P. It's just a matter of manipulating your armor and aiming for the weak spots on the KV-5. Now, if the KV-5 manipulates his armor properly and aims for the weak spots on the Tiger P, it's a completely different story, but a lot of KV-5 players don't really, what's the plan? Go and kill. Simple as that. But a lot of KV-5 players, the wallet warriors who don't know how to play the game because they just bought their KV-5 tank, they go into a tier 8 match with experienced players and they oftentimes get their tanks rear ends handed to them. Now the Tiger P not doing well on health, certainly a lot lower than the KV-5, and wow, that was unfortunate. The T-34 does have a very high penetration gun, and it looks like he's going to drive out there and get himself killed. There we go. T-34 eliminated the single largest threat to this team. Eliminated. And Andrew Kai's team pulling ahead right here, clutching it. The ISU-152 proving just how useful he can be, getting 4 kills. I agree with the 3001H. What a battle. GG to and you. Nice party. Who's the party team? I guess the tank destroyers. Wow. I did not realize that the T-25AT and the ISU-152 were platooned up, but it seems they certainly know what they're doing. This Tiger P stands not the slightest chance. He's got to get at least 3 shots off on the KV-5 in order to kill him. Well, there's one. Let's see if... No, he's not going to live long enough. And Andrew knowing exactly where to aim, and that is right in the turret. Your best chance of getting through the Tiger P is either at that small underplate, which I don't recommend, or the turret. Certainly, the turret is the best option. Andrew getting 3 kills, and he does get steel wall. He did send in a post-game screenshot, but as I said in my previous replay, I'm not going to pull those up. It is, it's just too much of a hassle. I'm sorry, but World of Tanks has made it inconvenient to do them in the replays. If you send it in, I will certainly comment on what your awards were, your experience, your credits, and then, but I won't show the screen because it's too inconvenient, and it really just impedes how many replays I can get done in a quick fashion. Speaking of which, you're going to notice over the next few days I will continue to mention this for anyone who catches any of the replays after this point, but over the next few days I'm going to be uploading a lot of replays, probably 2 or 3 a day, and this is for the sole purpose of I have tons of your replays sent in, tons of my replays that I have saved up from the 8.2 patch that I have not gotten to, and as you are well aware, if you are playing this game currently on the North American servers, 8.3 just came out, which means Chinese tanks and all that fun stuff. And as you may have known in the past if you follow my channel, updating my game has caused several issues with older replays. I have looked at the replay compatibility pack. It's too much of a pain to set up. And I know it's making me sound lazy, and I kind of am, but it's at the same time, it's easier just for me to commit. At this also forces me to actually do the replays that you guys have sent in. Makes me commit because I can't play my World of Tanks game now until I get through all my 8.2 replays, which means good news for you guys, lots of replays on the way. So yes, look for 2 to 3 replays a day from now on, and until I get through all my 8.2 replays, which is going to be a while. But anyway, so Mr. Andrew Kai here did get Steel Wall, if you couldn't have guessed by how many shots he was bouncing. Barely surviving there, though. I have to say, he got a little bit too close to death, a little bit too close for comfort. That T-25-18, not in the same boat, very much still at a lot of his health. And Andrew getting 3 kills, as we see. And if I recall correctly, over 83,000 credits and over 1,700 experience premium. So standard account, that's approximately 1,100 something, but still very impressive amount of experience as well. So well played, Andrew Kai. You were certainly one of the pivotal players on your team, and same goes for the ISU 152 and that T-25 AT. Between the 3 of you, 8 kills, half of your team's eliminating blah 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 blah. If you're wondering what that was me having a brain fart and still trying to say something, and so I just puked it out. Anyway. Very well played by all 3 of you. You certainly are one of the main reasons. The T-34 on your team actually doing a very good job as well. I can only imagine how one-sided that battle would have been had your KV-4 not been AFK. So the enemy team, really, I have to say I'm unimpressed, because you were down a top tank and you still managed to win it by 3. So well played. Well played by you, not so much by the enemy. But anyway, if you like this video, click that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. And as always, if you got a replay, send it to spanglereplays@gmail.com. Email is in the description. And as always, this has been Spang, and I am signing off.